welcome back to the channel. This is the S26 Ultra, and in this video I'm going to show you things to do when you get the phone out of the box, because believe it or not, some of the default settings are just not good for you. And I'm gonna start with the very first thing that I do. Now, I don't claim that those are the best settings. Those are the things that I do on all my Samsung phones. Maybe you know some better things. If that's the case, please hit me up down below in the comments. First thing I would like to do is go directly straight into the display setting. Why? Because the default screen resolution is going to be FHD+. Since you spend 1,400 euro on your phone or US dollars or whatever the money you spend, don't use FHD+. Just go and select QHD+. This is the highest available resolution. Also, because yes, this is the latest Samsung S phone, it provides something called the privacy display, which I tested in and out, and honestly it's a cool feature. But there are some caveats. This cool feature, while used, comes with some caveats. One thing is that the viewing angle is apparently not as good as on the S25 Ultra, and if you decide to use the maximum protection, you're going to lose some of that contrast, right? So you're gonna get not only a hit on the brightness, which we know happens, you're gonna get also a hit on the saturation, which isn't ideal. And people are also saying that when you use the privacy display, you're getting a hit also on the resolution, because half of your pixel, the ones that channel the light towards your eyes, just do not work. The next thing you should do then is go inside this option here, privacy display, and check these conditions for turning on. Now, I use the privacy display because I paid so much money. I want to use it and see it if it can be a real use case for me, and right now it is. But I only use it to protect my pins, pattern and passwords when I have the option to type them, and also very important, I use it for notification pop-ups. And I'm going to demonstrate this to you. Now, with a miracle, I'm going to receive a message on my messenger. See how this looks like. All right, here it is. Well, you cannot see it, right? You cannot see it. So this is a very good use case, and this is how I use it. You can, by the way, turn the privacy display on and off by just hitting this quick toggle here, or when you click inside, you're gonna get all the options. So if you want to get use of this technology, then probably that's the best way to test if you're gonna like this or not. Alright, you might think that we're done with the display, but we are not, because when you take the phone out of the box, believe it or not, in 2026 the phone will still work with gestures. I cannot even say it, guys. It's so annoying. I know some people like this. I don't really like this. Like, the first thing I did 17 years ago on my HTC XDA Orbit was to install a manager with gestures. And if you're like me, then just go inside the display settings, navigation bar, and then just select swipe gestures. This is so much better. But then again, if you want to use the gestures, I feel you. You can still do this. After enabling the gestures, you can decide to keep the circle to search on and off. And now, when this thing is off and I hold here, right, you're gonna see this is gonna pop out. And now I can do circle to search. And from here, I can extract text. Now, the second thing I usually do is go inside lock screen and AOD, because believe it or not, but here we have a lot of options. So the first thing I would like to do is set biometrics. Yeah, you guessed this. This is my fingerprint. Now, I only registered one fingerprint. One thing that you can do, even with you setting up one fingerprint, is you can train the phone with the very same fingerprint. Some people are saying that this is gonna help with recognition and stuff like this. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this theory. It might work on some of the older ultrasonic sensors. Nevertheless, it's not gonna hurt if you set up one finger twice. And then also, guys, what I do, because again, I'm a right-handed person, but sometimes I just wanna pick up the phone with my left hand, and I'm also training my other thumbs. You can train the phone with multiple fingerprints, so my advice is do this. Train your main finger like twice, and then just also train the other hand. Why not? From here you can do other things as well, like show the icon when the screen is off. Right now I just have it on my always on display, and this is how it's gonna look like, right, to know where I need to press. If you don't like this, you have the option to remove it, and you can also decide to use the animation or not. You can also go here and set up other things as well, like a pin, which I did, and you can also register your face. Now, I don't use this, but it's here, so do these things first when you get a phone out of the box. And as we're still in the display setting, one last thing to verify is the motion smoothness. Now make sure that you're using the adaptive one, because this can go up to 120 Hz. not the standard one, because the standard one will get you only to 60 Hertz and it's gonna probably give a bit more of a battery. But remember, you pay top dollar, you want to get the most out of this phone. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you pay top dollar and you wear the phone like this, yeah, you know what, it can happen. So, protection, this is the case that I'm using right now from Banks. They sent me 5 cases. I tested all of them and I pretty much like the Armor Air design. You can check my video there. I'm going to put a link down below, and also there is an affiliate link. Anyway, if you decide to use it, you can save 15% off, and now let's continue with the video. So now we set up the display resolution. We have privacy display feature on for the things that you'd like to have it. We also set up our PIN and biometrics, and it's time to go back in the settings and click on security and privacy, because believe it or not, one of the first things I do here is click on updates, right? And then click on the Google Play System update. For a reason, this update works only when you do it from here. I don't know why, but when you update the new software, well, this thing is not going to appear. Now, speaking about system software update, what you can do, you can go to software update and make sure to check for updates. Yeah, I know it's a brand new phone, but believe it or not, we already received the first over-the-air update, so you might want to check if there are more updates, especially if you bought the phone after the launch. Now let's go back inside the settings. Let's go to security and privacy. There are a few other things that I do here. Now click on lost device protection. All right, the Find My Mobile works, but what is really crazy is the fact that the send last location is turned off by default, which I don't know why. Maybe battery issues, who knows. Anyway, it's good for you to use that function with the combination of sending your last location, because things like this happen. Also, there are a bunch of new things that are implemented here because of Google. It's still Android, remember. So when you click on theft protection, you might want to click the theft detection lock. All right, what does this mean? So imagine you're having your coffee or beer with a friend, and boom, some nasty NPC guy just grabs your phone, well, starts running with your phone, but if you don't have the theft detection lock, well, yeah, you're going to be in troubles. Maybe you're going to be still in trouble, but with the theft detection lock, what is actually going to happen is that the phone will suddenly realize, oh, somebody grabbed me while I was unlocked. Boom, it's going to lock itself, which is pretty cool. Another option we can do here is offline device lock. Lock the screen if your phone loses its network connections. Why not? It's a good feature. I do recommend it. There are a couple of more things here, like the failed out lock. So locks your phone screen after consecutive failed authentication attempts when signing in to apps or using other features. This is a useful feature, but I mean, you need to remember your PIN. This is very important. And this thing here is very important. If, God forbid, someone really steals your phone, you might want to use the remote lock. Again, you can see by the animations, this is pure Google stuff. Enable this, because with this thing, you can remotely lock your phone when you realize, hey, you know, someone is already taking advantage of the new S26 Ultra, whatever. And now we're back inside the security settings. There are some additional security settings. I don't use them, but I would like to mention them. Something called the auto blocker. This is keeping your phone safe by blocking threats and other suspicious activity. When you click inside, right, you can see it's actually blocking a lot of things. So apps from unauthorized sources. So let's say you want to sideload an APK, boom, this is going to be a problem. Also, you want to use USB debugging and ADB with a cable, boom, it's going to be blocked. So you might understand why I don't use this. But if you're like a novice user, or you just want to have the maximum protection, right, and you always want to run official software that you can download from Play Store, that's one way to go. You can also turn this thing on automatically if it has been turned off for like 30 minutes. So it has a lot of options. And there is even something more, like this is the nuclear weapon. Maximum restrictions. So this is giving you even more protection for people who may be target of sophisticated cyber attacks. Again, if you decide to turn this on, all right, this means that you're going to be using McAfee software to scan apps and stuff like this. It's going to block a lot of things. It's going to block shared albums. It's going to remove location data when you share pictures, which is probably not a bad thing. It's going to block auto connection to non-secure Wi-Fi. So imagine you go on a Starbucks or whatever coffee, you sit down, you connect to the public Wi-Fi, and you think that's Starbucks Wi-Fi, but no, this is the hacker that is sitting next to you on the table, and you're using his hotspot and he's hacking you. It's going to block also 2G networks. Again, it's probably a bit too much for me. I don't use the auto blocker at all, but my recommendation is to give it a chance, specifically if you are a novice user or you want to get the highest protection available. Security status of your devices. When you click here, you're going to see which devices you have, and you want to make sure that they are in a good condition. Now I am rocking the S26 and S25 Ultra, no thread found. So you can see it's absolutely cool, but yeah, it requires One UI 7.0 or higher. And now we are back on the home screen, and I want you to focus here. You see this finder icon? It's absolutely cool. Believe it or not, this thing does not exist on my S25 Ultra. So how can you enable this new finder icon? There's going to be something called Show Finder on home screen. Without this, you're just rocking the old boring view. But if you want to get the finder on the home screen, this is one way to go. Also from here, you can decide the home screen grid, the apps grid, and the folder grid. Now I'm going with a more standard mode, but you can modify things there. And the next thing I would like to do is, believe it or not, I always select add new apps to home screen. I want that every app I install ends up here and not only in my launcher. Speaking about the launcher, very important. Now we don't need GoodLog anymore to do things like this. Click here, right? Click sort, and then click alphabetical order. Oh my God, what is just happening, right? This is the old boring launcher, but you don't want this. Go back, sort, custom order. I don't know why they say custom order, right? It's pretty much like horizontal or vertical, but nevertheless, those are things that you can tweak on the home screen. Now let me show you what you should do with your S26 Ultra and the core area. As you can see here, there is a red dot. Red dot means always new things. A lot of these things existed on One UI 8, such as text call and some other things, but we have something called the call screening. And for a reason, as you can see, it's turned off by default. So when I enable this, I can decide the incoming language, and then every time someone is calling me, well, I can decide to use auto screen, which means that AI or Bixby is gonna pick up for me and it's gonna do the work for you, which is pretty cool. And you can modify the language. Sadly, there are not a lot of languages supported here. You can also change the voice and the speech rate, so it's a good feature. We've seen this first in the Google phones, but now we have it here on the Galaxy S26 Ultra. And as we're here, I know AI, right? People love it, people hate it. Anyway, it's here, Galaxy AI. Now let me tell you some of the new things that are here. If I scroll down, there's going to be something called Now Nudge. This thing is really cool if you get it to work. A lot of people cannot really get it to work. It's fairly limited at the moment, but the main idea of this Now Nudge thing is the phone, the AI behind the phone, to identify what you have on your screen and provide you with some context, provide you with some insights. So the Now Nudge function should help you get things done quickly. Now the tricky part with Now Nudge is that it's a bit hit and miss at the moment, but I was able to get it to work with my messages. So now I'm gonna receive a message. All right, oh, the message is here and it's telling me something like this: can you send me that cute photo of your cat? Usually Now Nudge should kick in here and it should directly give me a link to my gallery and allow me to go there and even search with the keywords cat. Now why hit and miss? Yeah, this time it worked. And as you can see, yeah, it works like magic. So share photos. Now I'm gonna go here and you see it already pre-filled the cat for the search word, which is kind of cool. Now again, it's hit and miss. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not work. Let's go back inside the settings, Galaxy AI, and tell you about some more cool features. So we have now Audio Eraser. I mean, that's not new because it was there before. And you can use this to reduce the noise on some of your videos and stuff like this. But this feature has been taken to the next level with the S26 Ultra. Let me show you. I'm gonna go and play one of my previous videos. All right, I'm outside, we have some noise. What I can do right now is go in the quick menu and click Audio Eraser. And this is absolutely crazy. You can see I can modify the strength of the noise and I can focus on the voice. And you can do this in YouTube, you can do this in Netflix. So basically you can run your own content on your phone and then you can use the AI Audio Eraser. You can decide the strength of it. One more time. See how much wind noise. And now less, and I can even click voice focus, which is another yet very cool feature that you can use in your S26 Ultra. Now let's pay a visit to our old friend NowBrief. I mean, NowBrief is not new, but certainly there are many more things to be included inside, such as YouTube. When you decide to include YouTube, you can also click on Get Richer Insights and make sure that you select those like YouTube and also Gemini if you travel inside. So what happens right now when I click on good evening, well, I'm gonna get the messages here, and then yeah, I'm gonna get like a random clip, which isn't that bad, and it's also giving you some nice other suggestions like, hey, why don't you try the photo ambient wallpaper? I can decide to do so. How does it work? I click on settings, I can decide to use any of my pictures, and I can use AI to modify it and add the weather, or like this is going to be based on the weather that is outside, like be it raining, be it snowing. Again, maybe more AI slop for some of you, but maybe for some other people this is going to be something nice and useful. And before we're done with the video, let's try to discuss some of the widgets. Now, as you can see, this was the Now brief. Now in One UI 8.5, you can change the opacity. I cannot do this on my S25 Ultra, even on the latest One UI 8.5 beta, but I can do it here. You see, notification, privacy display. So you can now change this from this to this, and actually this is what I use. And as I'm discussing the widgets, there are some very cool battery widgets like this, or like this. So this can show you the battery of the phone, also the battery of your Samsung Galaxy Watch, and yeah, remember those things, like this is the Buds 3 Pro. When you connect them to your phone, this is what is going to happen, all right? They're going to appear here, and okay, you can see something very, very important that is probably new for some people, right? If I go now inside Samsung Galaxy Wear, you can see that I only have the watch, and those people are like, what the hell is happening with my headphones? Why can't I not see them? Well, I can tell you, it's very easy. We need to go inside the settings, and Samsung changed this. So right now your buds are going to appear here, and from here you're able to do all the changes. If you ask me, well, that's a nice cool feature. It might be a bit irritating if people are not aware about this, but yeah, do know that this is how it works. Okay, so more things like CNI bar devices. You can see I put this for the first time. This is also a cool feature. This is gonna show your devices that are connected. So I have my phone right now, my watch, and then here I have my buds. You can do certain things like ping those things or check the connection. So it's really helpful stuff. And if this video was helpful for you guys, you might as well want to support the channel and check some of my other videos. Stay safe, VST over and bye.